I made a TikTok video and I also made a YouTube video actually where I was explaining how like I'm only focusing on being happy to manifest things. And I understand that obviously using the word happy, because that is an emotion, might lead people to think that when it comes to manifesting and feeling that, you know, rightfully so, I am talking about emotions, I'm talking about feeling happy and all that kind of stuff, when it's not exactly that. When it comes to happiness, that kind of encompasses and is part of the state of feeling fulfilled or feeling blessed, etc. And I guess I probably should have used that term more so than happy, because that obviously can lead, like I said, to misconceptions about, you know, when I'm manifesting something, am I meant to just feel happy, etc, etc. So what we're going to do is I've got some quotes from Neville Goddard's book, Feeling is the Secret, where he explains all of this. And I'm going to go through some quotes that I actually picked out that I feel like explain this whole concept really well. And obviously I want to know your guys' thoughts on it. But I kind of want to get more into understanding when someone says feeling, when someone says feeling as if you already have it, when someone says living in the end, when someone says feeling the state of you already having it. I kind of want to get a little bit deeper into that. So I think a really good one to kind of explain this, he says, when he says live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and when he says live in the feeling of being the one you want to be and you shall be, when he's talking about that, he is not talking necessarily about emotions. It's about the feeling of when you think about someone who has a successful business, how must they feel? Successful, blessed, accomplished, fulfilled. That is what is being talked about, and that is what he means, and that is what it means when it comes to feeling the wish fulfilled. It's about those particular words that are something you can only really experience in your conscious mind and not necessarily as an emotion. Let me explain like another quote, which I think again explains this really well. He says, to be realized then, the wish must be resolved into the feeling of being or having or witnessing the state sought. This is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The feeling which comes in response to the question, how would I feel were my wish realized, is the feeling which should monopolize and immobilize your attention as you relax into sleep. Again, like I said, Neville Goddard is talking about the state akin to sleep. You don't have to do this before you go to sleep, because you've been manifesting your entire life and you didn't necessarily do things before you went to sleep to manifest. But again, if you want to, you can. So let me go back. So how would I feel were my wish realized, is the feeling which you should monopolize and immobilize your attention on as you relax into sleep. You must be in the consciousness of being or having that which you want to be or to have. You must be in the consciousness of being or having that which you want to be or have before you drop off to sleep. So, and then just to follow on, he said, it follows therefore that he should always assume the feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction before he retires in sleep. Now, I also found, I'm going to put it on the screen, I also found like a kind of, I literally typed into Google emotion versus feeling, and this is what Google had to say. While emotions are associated with bodily reactions that are activated through neurotransmitters and hormones released by the brain, feelings are the conscious experience of emotional reactions. So when I said, for example, feeling happy, the conscious side of that, the conscious experience of that emotion of being happy is, like I said, fulfillment, blessed, accomplished, fulfilled, basically all the things that Neville said. So yes, when I first started out with learning about all this stuff or whatever, and I would ask myself the question, how would I feel if I had that particular thing? My first initial like reaction was to go with the emotion of like, you know, I would feel happy. I would feel so happy that I manifested that particular thing. Now the issue with that is that yes, you would feel happy. So, and yes, that is, you know, that is the emotion, that is the emotional side of it, that which is fine, you would feel happy. But you would be feeling happy, let's say the moment you you get it. So the moment you suddenly reach that particular goal, of course you're going to feel happy. Like, happy is a natural emotion, it is what will come up. But when it comes to manifesting, it's about feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and from a point of view that you are thinking from, you already having it. So you've already gone through the stages of feeling happy, of feeling excited, like all of those kind of emotional side of things. You've already gone through that. Now you're at a point which, with everything else that you currently have in your life, that you've had for a while, it's more about you thinking, like, when you think about that particular thing, when you think about, let's say you are manifesting anything, let's say you're manifesting your SP, for example. At first, yeah, you might have been super happy and excited that you had manifested your SP back, you finally got them back. But now that it's like a month down the line and you've been in that relationship, think about, how do you feel now when you look at anything else you have in your life and you've had it for a while? You feel grateful for it, you feel blessed, you feel fulfilled. And again, those are not necessarily emotions. It's not necessarily an emotional, not necessarily an emotional response. Like I said, from the definition from like Google, when it's talking about emotion versus feeling, it's about the conscious experience of that particular thing. So yeah, so I think the best way to understand when anyone is talking about the feelings of the wish fulfilled, living in the end, asking yourself, how would I feel now that I have my desire? How would I feel if my wish were fulfilled? When you decide to think about that, think as if, which is what you're doing when you're manifesting, but think as if you have had that thing already for a month. You've got over the initial excitement of it. You've got over the initial emotional reaction. Now think about, it's been a month now. You've had that thing for a month. Now when you think about that thing, how are you going to be? I want to use the word thinking just so it makes it a bit easier to understand. How would you be thinking? You would be thinking, I am so grateful for this thing. I am so blessed to have this particular thing. I am so fulfilled. I am successful. When you then put it kind of in that way, it then makes it, I feel like it then makes it easier to understand how you are then going to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled as well. Like, when it comes to feeling, it comes to something just as like, it's just a knowing. It's about the conscious side of it. So you ask yourself, how would I feel if I were to have that particular thing? Think from the perspective of, you've had it for a month now, or an easier way is think about either something you have manifested in your past, for example, something that you really wanted, you manifested it in your past and now you have it. How do you think about that thing? How do you think about that thing? It just feels natural to you. You're like, of course, you're grateful for it. You feel blessed about it. You don't necessarily sit there and you're smiling and you're like super happy about it. Of course, like, you are happy, but it's more about, like I said, the conscious side of it and you feeling blessed and grateful for it. So yeah, I hope that has kind of cleared up when it comes to feeling versus emotion. If you do ever like really need to get deeper into this, then 110%, if you haven't already read Feeling is the Secret, go and read this book. And yeah, like I said, ask yourself, now that I've had it for a month, how do I feel about it? And that is your answer. That is what you need to embody. And it's about a conscious thing. It's not necessarily about a physical thing. It's about the conscious feelings of it, the conscious aspects of it. How are you thinking about that particular thing? So yeah, I hope that has cleared it up. Yeah, and I will see you guys in the next video.